What do you get when you mix legendary quality and performance at an affordable price? You get the Barnes Harvest Collection. Let's check it out.
Oh, that's amazing. Look at that fish.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Got an exciting video for you today. I was fortunate enough to be included in the Barnes Harvest Collection rollout. They sent this to me before it was available to the public. I'm testing it after it's been released for a little while. I just haven't been able to make it out to the range. They sent me a swag box with a shirt and a hat and a tumbler and one box of 6.5 Creedmoor 140 grain ammunition. This is a great platform because hunting rounds can be expensive. You know, the higher the costs, you know, you have greater quality. If you go with a lower cost ammunition, you might have lower quality. You might have a higher standard deviation. You don't know what speed you're going to get. But with Barnes's legendary loading, I expect nothing but the best with this. I expect a speed close to 2,700 feet per second. Love bugs are crazy. 2,700 feet per second and a lower standard deviation. This has a Sierra tipped Game King projectile it's got a green tip, and what it looks like when it comes out of the gel should be something like what's on the box right there. So 6.5 Creedmoor, 2,700 feet per second. This box of ammunition retails for $40. So in the grand scheme of things, that is a very good price. Will the performance match that of other Barnes rounds? Hopefully so. So I've got my competition rifle, which could double as a hunting rifle. It only weighs 12.5 pounds. I know it can be lighter. But we've got a 24-inch Proof Research carbon fiber barrel, Area 419 Hellfire match brake, Area 419 ARCA rail and ARCA clamp, Atlas bipod, Aero Precision furniture, vor-tx Viper PST Gen 2 5-25 in a vor-tx mount. We've got an Aero Precision bolt, CMC trigger, die-free-co grip, Magpul stock, and I don't remember what buffer system I have in here, but this is an accurate rifle. I used this in the Mammoth Sniper Challenge before building a new rifle, and very capable of sub-MOA groupings. I'm going to try and shoot where the camera isn't in the sun because there's a weather station here. It's 12 o'clock noon, and it feels like 101 degrees, and it's going to feel like 108 soon. So to prevent the camera from overheating, we're going to try and keep it in the shade. But I've got a piece of paper down there. We're going to shoot 2 5-round groups, check the speeds with the Garmin Zero, and then we're going to put it through the gel, maybe do another grouping or two. So without further ado, let's get after it. I've got a target down there on that piece of paper. I'll show you that afterwards. It's so hot. This camera's in the shade, and just trying to prevent things from overheating. But we're going to take 10 shots and then make a decision about what we're going to do after that. I got the Garmin Zero for some speeds, and Eyes and Ears by Shell Shock Protection. Thank you very much, Sam, for sending these to me. I used these glasses at the last Patriot games, and they were absolutely fantastic. I do use buds for that competition now that I'm using an anechoic suppressor on the rifle. But for these larger calibers, 6.5 Creedmoor 308, having a nice set of ears definitely does help. So thank you very much. All right, I was way off to the left. We're going to try this again. But good speed so far. Definitely the inaccuracy is due to this rifle. Oh, pretty good grouping that time. It's definitely off. I'm gonna try and On those 10 shots, I'll go show you that. I'll overlay the first one. I was aiming over here, and that might have been it. It looks a little small to be a 6.5 creedmoor, but I definitely saw the splashes off to the left. And then I adjusted the windage a little bit, and I was aiming here, and I got these 5 shots. I think there's 2 through either here or here. I don't think that's, it might be, but I doubt it. Accuracy on those last 5. The first 5, I was way off to the left. The second 5 got a pretty decent grouping, but was still a little off of where I was aiming. So now I'm right on there. And I guess my windage was all messed up from, I don't know, just a previous usage. But 2725.3 is the low, and 2742.2 is a high. So that's a really low standard deviation for a factory ammo. So Barnes, it just, like everything that I've tried of theirs or Sierra, it's just absolutely fantastic. So I'm actually going to load up another 5 and shoot 1 more grouping, and then we'll put it through the gel. All right, 5 more shots. I'm going to aim at a different spot. I think I've got it all figured out. Excellent grouping. We kind of sped up just a little bit. So we got 15 shots. Ready? Ready for this? This is why this is an incredible round. 15 shots, 2725.3 is the low, 2750.6 is a high, 2736 is an average, a spread of 25.3, and a standard deviation of 6.7. I mean, you could use this as match ammo. 1, it's cheaper than match ammo, and 2, 6.7 as a standard deviation. The consistency is incredible. Let's put it through some gel. Never claimed to be the best shooter, never claimed to be a great shooter, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, pretty decent grouping for not the best shooter. The ammunition is way better than I am a shooter, so without further ado, let's set up the gel and see how it does. I've got the gel set up on a table down there. We've got the Barnes Harvest Collection 6.5 Creedmoor 140 grain traveling at 2735. So I exceeded the box and we got pretty good accuracy. As you saw, the round is much more capable of being sub MOA than I am. Not the best shooter, never claimed to be. So we're gonna put 1 round through the gel and see how it does. Oh, yeah. Oh, we broke another table. Another table bites the dust. Let's go check it out. I told you, another table bites the dust. All right, so, yep, as predicted, through the first block. You saw it on slow motion by now. Into the second block, probably 3 or 4 inches. So we'll say 20 inches. And let's pull that puppy out and see what it looks like. Back at the house, recap time. On my way home from the range, I realized that I mentioned the swag, but I didn't actually bring the swag with me. So I got a hat, a shirt, and a tumbler with the Barnes Harvest Collection logo on it. It's pretty sweet stuff. So Ben, thank you for sending this to me. I do appreciate it. This was and is fantastic ammunition. So Standard deviation of 6.7, we had a spread of 25.3, I think it was, and the high and the low, it was more than the advertised on the box. It's 2,700 feet per second. I think the average was 2,730. So this ammunition is fantastic, and it's at a good price. Now, I mentioned about using it for match ammo. Now, no, you technically wouldn't do that, because then you're going to get into ballistic coefficients and all that stuff. And this is a G1.563. Just a quick internet search. I'm not the premier voice on ballistic coefficients, but the higher the ballistic coefficient, the more stable it will be and less affected by wind. So you could probably use this out to 300 yards and in does not make a difference, but as you go further and further out, you want something with a higher ballistic coefficient. So could you take something at distance with this? Absolutely. Would you use it for precision match? Probably not. But like I said, a box of Hornady 6.5 creedmoor ELDM, that's going to run you $43, $44, and this is $40. So, in theory, you could use this and you could save some money. But it was very consistent. It was accurate. The faults were of my own and not of the ammunition or the rifle. The first set, my windage knob had been turned. I don't remember when I turned it, but it was way off to the left, and then I tried to come back to zero, and I was off by one circle, and then we got a good grouping. I said excellent in the video. I don't think it was really excellent per se. It was very good. The gel, and I've tested some powerful 308s and 6.5 creedmoors. I've yet to test a 6.5 PRC in the gel, which I do have that of Barnes. This was the most action I've seen in the gel of anything that I've ever done before. When it first went in, it cavitated, a huge expansion, but then that secondary one, it really came up through the top of that gel, and that's what really stood out to me. Got about 20 inches of penetration, and the projectile mashed down just like it showed on the box. Pretty much very, very similar. So if you are hunting with a 6.5 creedmoor, rest assured, if you do decide to go with this Harvest collection, or pretty much I would imagine that all the other calibers that are offered have very, very similar performance results. Small spreads and low standard deviations. This is 300 Win Mag and 7 millimeter Remington. So you get some heavy hitters, which would do a lot more damage than the 6.5 creedmoor. But rest assured, if you are going hunting using a 6.5 creedmoor, this is an unbelievable option. So let me know what you think. Do you use 6.5 creedmoor to hunt, or are you traditionalist to go with 308 or 300 Win Mag? What do you use? But for now, that's going to do it for this one. Like and subscribe. Leave a comment in the comment section below. We'll see you in the next video.